searching, solving mysteries in the night. Chasing shadows, finding answers, shining bright light. No one's left behind in the darkness, all alone. With a heart like a siren, she brings the lost ones home. Silent cries in the dark no longer have to be, for justice wheels keep turning, granted on the beat. Broken voices find their power, call out hope again. Then these crime busters run, no victims left in vain. Bravery in her veins, truth she won't disguise. With a fire in her eyes, she's got nothing to deny. Credit fights for justice, never backs down from the call. For the voiceless and the missing, she'll stand tall.
Hello, everyone. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. The sun finally came out today. Come and join me in my beautiful little yard here. Easter's over. I had to take the eggs down and put up a nice spring background. Oh, hello, Ginger. Good to see you. I was just watching the state's closing argument in the Lori Vallow case, conspiracy to kill her prior husband, Charles Vallow. So Lori will be giving her closing statement next. That'll be interesting. I think she didn't put on a defense, so it's going to be really interesting. I think she thinks that they didn't prove their case. So, but she's delusional. So today I wanted to talk about. Hello, Brenda Joe. I saw you today. But I tried to keep it low key so Lacey wouldn't see you today. Oh, it's rainy by you, Ginger? Yeah. I thought that was background, such a pretty view. You got the butterflies around and the birds in the background flying, and I thought it was cool. If I had a garden like that, I would love it. Oh, so I guess Ginger and I came across a new website. I don't know if it's new or not, but I'd never seen it before. So it's new to me, right? And it's about missing and exploited children. And I kind of wanted to go over it with you guys to see if any of the information is correct, if there's, wrong information, that kind of thing. Share my screen and show it to you. Let's see. Right here. Okay. So let's do this. Okay. So it says case files for missing and endangered. And there are other missing person people on here as well. But then each page has its own other links to more information. So, I mean, I don't know. It's crimetimelines.com. I don't know. It doesn't really tell you about them, I don't believe. Let me look. Wait about them, yeah. So, I don't really know, right? Who has done this, but I mean, it's done very well, in my opinion. I just want to make sure that the information that's on this page is accurate, right? It does say if you have any information concerning anyone on this page, please contact your local FBI office or local police department. Very, very good, right? So this one talks about Sebastian Rogers. Love that picture of him, except I don't like snakes, so it does kind of freak me out a little bit, but I like his smile. Um, that's why I don't use it much in my in my pictures and stuff because I don't like snakes. They just freak me out, guys. I just don't like them. I understand he did, and that's totally fine. I'm glad I didn't have little boys, or for that matter, little girls who wanted snakes. I don't wouldn't have been able to do it. So it says Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen on February 25th, 2024, in the area of Stafford Court in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Well, this is wrong, right? He was wearing a black t-shirt, black sweatpants, and black square frame glasses. Um, did we hear that the glasses were black, guys? I don't know. Anyway, he has medical conditions, including autism, that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. That's true. And if you have any information concerning the whereabouts of Sebastian, please contact Sumner County, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI. Even gives the field office for Memphis. Gives you the FBI poster that you can click on. And then it shows that there was an Amber Alert issued on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office for Sebastian. At the time, he was 15, 5'5", 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Um, And once again, the black long sleeve t-shirt. And about the same thing there. So now let's look at, well, before we look at the timeline, I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Hello, Maui. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. It was black square rim glasses. Okay. I didn't remember them being black. That's why I asked. I wasn't sure. All right. Timeline. February 22nd, 2024, Thursday, Sebastian spoke to his dad, Seth Rogers. And we do know that was true because Seth had stated that he always called Sebastian after he got off school because he was alone, you know. He had chores that he had to do, that kind of thing, but Seth just called to talk to him every day, right? February 24th, Sebastian and his mom, Katie Proudfoot, went to dinner at Costco on Saturday. I was not aware of that. Isn't Costco a grocery store? How do you go to dinner at Costco? They had I don't know, that's weird. A restaurant in Costco? Different. February 25th, Sebastian and his mom, Katie Proudfoot, went to BJ's Wholesale Club, which we do know. And then they went to Strike and Spare. And yeah, this person is right. There were no times really given for that. But what they forgot to mention is that they got up in the morning, right? And fun fact, Google it, they had spaghetti pancakes. Courtesy of K9. She's never in here when I show that picture. Where are you, K9? Oh, it's a big box store. Okay. Yummy hot dogs. Okay. I didn't know that. Good to know. There's K9. We were just talking about your spaghetti pancakes. So the spaghetti pancakes are not on the timeline of this website. Gosh, that's where the infamous "Google it, y'all" comment came from, was because of these spaghetti pancakes. We didn't know what they were, guys. So K9 looked them up and made them for us and took a picture. Oh, okay. So at 6:30 p.m., Sebastian and his mom, Katie Proudfoot, had dinner. Well, they sure did, but are we leaving a lot out here? Where was the dinner? Well, we all know it was at Texas Roadhouse, right? And there was lots of video to show that they had dinner. It was a little before 6:30 though, wasn't it? 8 p.m. Upon returning home, Sebastian took out the trash to the curb. I don't know if that was 8 p.m. or not. I think Katie had stated that it was 15 minutes after they got home, and I don't remember the time that they got home. She did say Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. 10 p.m., Katie was on the phone with her husband, Christopher Proudfoot. I'll leave a little bit of information out here. Because there was the noise. Well, she heard something, there was a noise, and then she heard the thud. And yeah. And then 12 o'clock, she was falling asleep on the phone. Chris told her to get up and go to bed, put the dogs up and go to bed, right? All right. Monday. Oh, I see. She's got it on the next day, which would make it right because 12 a.m. is the 26th. Chris Proudfoot told Katie to go to bed, right? 6 a.m., Katie called Christopher to tell him that Sebastian was missing and reported him missing to the police. No, she did not. This part, reported him missing, didn't happen until, what time was it, guys? 6:33, I believe. Something like that. And that was actually, the 6:03 is actually when she called Chris, not at 6, right? 6:40, that's pretty close, I guess. 7, Seth had just gotten off work. Seth noticed a missed text and call from Christopher. He called Christopher and was informed that Sebastian was missing. Seth arrived at the house and stayed there the entire day. Later, he fell asleep in his car. 11:17 a.m., the TBI issued an endangered child alert on behalf of the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. 1 p.m., Christopher Proudfoot arrived to the house. You guys, if you see anything that's wrong that I'm missing, please jump in and tell me, okay? TBI, 4:30 p.m., another alert asking residents near Beach High School and along Long Hollow Pike to check outbuildings, garages, and cars in case Sebastian was hiding. Neighbors reported seeing someone resembling Sebastian near Newman's Trail around 4:45. Police confirmed it was not him, and that is true. Check my thing. Hi, Fred. No, not new info. It's just a new website that I found, that we're just kind of checking to see what they've got on there and whether their information is accurate, that kind of thing. There's a few little discrepancies, but nothing that would hurt the investigation, in my opinion, yet. But if you do see any discrepancies, please holler, guys. We're just going over the website together. So the investigation timeline, Monday, February 26th, Sumner County Sheriff's Office issued an endangered child alert. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued one. And then Sumner County Sheriff's Office posts. If you have any information, call Detective Carter. Gave his phone number and his email. So by 12:14 p.m., Detective Carter was the head of this investigation, guys. That's interesting to know. 4:35 p.m., TBI issued another alert asking everyone to check their outbuildings, garages, and cars in case Sebastian was hiding. We all know he wasn't, right? He didn't walk out of the house. 8:49 p.m., Sumner County Sheriff's Office post. Thank you for reaching out and offering your assistance in the search for Sebastian. We currently have personnel from several local and state agencies involved in the search efforts. If you wish to contribute, we kindly ask you to carefully check your property, including crawl spaces, sheds, small areas, and any other locations where a child who enjoys hiding might be. Yeah. Guys, I understand why they ask that, but did they really get enough information about Sebastian? Because Sebastian didn't like bugs. Crawl spaces, you're going to find bugs, especially spiders, sheds, small areas, any other. Sebastian didn't like to be dirty, and he didn't like bugs. Your honest opinion, even if what we knew, right, what we know now, do you really think that Sebastian would have been found in one of those places? I don't think so. I understand he's autistic, but he's high functioning and he didn't like bugs and he didn't like to be dirty. So I don't see him going into a place like that to hide. I really don't. From everything that we've learned about Sebastian, I don't see him wanting to do that. Okay, I'll make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. That better? Okay. Tuesday. So they give out more information, TBI, the Communication Center, Detective Carter. Chief Deputy Eric Craddock and EMA Director Ken Widener released an update on the search. An Amber Alert was issued. Weather concern, colder temperatures added urgency to the search. Searchers reported covering over 2,000 miles on foot and thoroughly searching Sebastian's home multiple times. Wednesday, no evidence to suspect foul play took place yet, and the family has been cooperating. So here's my question. What exactly does it mean that the family has been cooperating? Because if it's true that Chris told law enforcement they were not going to interrogate his wife on the day that Sebastian was missing, how does that correlate to the family is cooperating? Just because they let him search their home multiple times? Do you see where I'm going with that? I don't understand that. TBI released a statement explaining why Sebastian's parents were unable to share more details about his disappearance. Yeah, there was a video that went out that the parents had asked them to let the public know that the parents were not going to answer any questions at this time. They were not going to publicly talk to the media. Okay, and on Thursday, the investigators drained a pond east of Sebastian's home but found no evidence. Officials stated they had received several tips and asked the public to check surveillance cameras. However, none of the tips were confirmed sightings of Sebastian. On Friday, dive team assisting in the search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. Franklin Police sent its dive team over to Sumner County to help search for the missing teen. The request for aid came from the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. And I heard about that, but where did they search? Where did this dive team go to search, guys? The Cumberland River is huge, and it runs all the way through. I'm going to bring up Google Maps to show you guys. Okay, the red dot is where Sebastian lives. Okay, so you have Drake's Creek, but it's like that wasn't big enough to do anything with. Now, see, and it's quite a ways away, but look at the Cumberland River. It snakes in and out and everywhere. It's like a snake. It seriously is. And it flows really. I mean, this is a river, to give you an idea, that Riley Strain was found deceased in. Okay. And that's in Nashville. Okay. Nashville is 25 miles away from Hendersonville. This is still Hendersonville. Okay. Look at how wide it is there. But it snakes, it goes narrower and it gets wider and it snakes all the way around, guys. It's huge. So where did this dive team go? That's my question. Because they drained the pond, right? Does anybody know? Hello, Noni. Aw. Yeah, I hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful, hello, Robin. Good to see you. Wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes, and he wouldn't have walked out the door with no shoes. Exactly. Or go into any of those hiding places, right? I mean, he just wouldn't. So, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, if that's where they searched, I'm just wondering. Yeah, that's a lot of area. Hello, SRB. I'm just wondering, where did the dive team search? Of a pond or two. Okay. That would make more sense to me. Ponds are hard to see on maps as well, aren't they? So, I mean, we know that there were ponds by this construction site. They're mostly gone now. There was a pond right here. Pretty big pond right here. This is private property, though. I wonder if they checked that. I don't know. But that, I mean, that's fairly close to Sebastian's house. right? The pond is right here, and Sebastian's house is up here. So, I mean, that's fairly close, even without shoes. But, and they say autistic children like water. Well, yes, they do. But Sebastian, even Chris said it, didn't want to go swimming in creeks or ponds or lakes. He went swimming in pools, clean water, where he could see what was in it, right? So once again, it made no sense, did it? And that's kind of what I'm talking about. Thank you for sharing the link to this. Yeah. It's kind of what I'm talking about with, did they really sit down and talk to the parents about what Sebastian liked and didn't like? Yes, I mean, you know, put out a notice to people for people to check their outbuildings and all that kind of stuff. I get that. I understand that. But I just, for the life of me, Sebastian would not have done that, in my opinion. Drake's Creek was one waterway that they checked. Okay. And that was by the Texas Roadhouse, wasn't it? I agree, Robin. I agree. They didn't do everything. It's actually more than a creek. Okay. It doesn't look like it on the map, but let's see if we go. It's like down here somewhere, isn't it? Andersonville is bigger than you guys may think. um, oh, here's Drake's Creek Park. Home Depot. I'm trying to find the creek. Oh, there it is. And see how I said it's kind of hard to see on the map? Conway Twitty Lane. Okay, and then there it runs into kind of a lake. Oh, it does get bigger, doesn't it? Or does it run into, is that the Cumberland River? Does Drake's Creek run into the Cumberland River? It must. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Well, I just found out something new. um, but this is, that's why it's so hard to see, because Drake's River is narrow, but it does run along everything there. Huh. Interesting. Oh, it runs for quite a ways. That's interesting. They looked in 43 ponds. Wow. If Chris says he would not let law enforcement speak with Katie after he got there, then maybe law enforcement was going on stats instead of information. That's true. Although Seth was there very early on, so he would have told him. he would have told him. See, and I don't get 43 ponds. Why? Um, I mean, they covered a lot of ground if you think about it, guys, for not allowing the public to come and search with them, which is another reason I don't understand, because in any other search, the public is invited to go along and they're they work right alongside and then they walk arm length to arm length, I believe, you know, along a grid, right? But no, Sumner County didn't want their help other than just to check their own properties. So I don't know, but let's go back to the website. Okay, so on Saturday, March 2nd, an anonymous group of Nashville area business owners offered a reward of $3,000 for information leading to Sebastian's whereabouts, which was later increased to $3,500. And then that all went away. Who knows where it went? I don't know. I don't think they actually gave the money, they just pledged it and it went away. Monday, March 4th, the search effort was scaled back. See, and here's the other thing, guys. This whole piece right here could be removed. It's not really relevant because it never amounted to anything, right? The reward money, that initial reward money, it never amounted to anything. So it's really irrelevant. Monday, March 4th. Okay. The search effort was scaled back as initial leads had been exhausted. Investigators expanded their efforts, crossing state lines to search a Kentucky landfill. Okay, so I just want you guys to realize that let's go back here. All right. This is Hendersonville. Okay. This all is Hendersonville, but I want you to see how closely the state line is. It's not that far away. It seems like it, but it's really not. Right here. Because we're in Kentucky right here. So it's not that far away. Right here is the line. Kentucky, Tennessee line. Right here is Portland. And it's on the Kentucky, Tennessee line. This right here is the line. I used to always go into Franklin, Tennessee, because it was only 7 miles versus going, to Nashville. So it's not that far, and it's not, if you look, Gallatin here, and there's the state line, right? So it's not that far. So for them to go across the state lines, it's only like 30 miles or less. So it's not that big of a deal. And it makes sense that they would go to, oh, sorry. All right, here. Let me. So right here is Portland. This is the Tennessee state line right here. So Gallatin is right there. Okay. So if you look, Gallatin to the Tennessee state line, about 30 miles, guys. It's not far at all. Okay. Because Portland from Gallatin, which Gallatin is the county seat of Sumner County. Portland's in Sumner County. I think 22 miles, I believe. This is where I lived. Um, and then 7 miles to the border from there. So, 30 miles at the most. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So going across state lines to get to a landfill is actually not as funny as it makes them seem here. Okay. So the big bolded state lines to search Kentucky landfill is kind of makes me laugh because it isn't that far away. On Thursday, authorities conducted a search at the Hopkins County Regional Landfill in White Plains, Kentucky. The search was described as a precautionary measure to eliminate possible options and questions. Local news footage showed a white tarp covering part of the landfill while officers sifted through the trash. Officials noted that Sebastian's family had been cooperative throughout the investigation. I like that they, oh, I was just going to say, I like that they didn't say anything about no evidence, but now in the next one they do. No evidence related to missing teen found at Kentucky landfill. Yielded negative results according to the Sumner County Sheriff's Office. But we did see, and I showed you guys a video that said that they would look through what they found and determine where to go next. So they found something. Remember, they don't have to tell us what they found. What does negative results mean? I don't know. On Friday, March 15th, a week later, TBI released a statement in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation. We cannot discuss many of the specifics surrounding the case, but we know how many people care about Sebastian and what has been done and is still being done to bring him home. Also, we want to caution the public about putting too much stock into information being presented in various media forms that is inaccurate or incomplete and could be damaging to the investigation. Actually, that statement is a good statement, in my opinion. Acting on a tip, Seth organized a search in Natchez State Park, Trace State Park, approximately 100 miles from Sumner County. Despite thorough efforts, the search did not yield new information. Friday, the 22nd, TBI released a statement. Much of the work being done to track down information about where Sebastian may have gone is not something you will necessarily see in the public, but we want you to know that every day work is being done to find Sebastian. Special agents and intelligence analysts continue to go over and review information that has been collected since the search for Sebastian began. They also continue to follow up on leads and tips as they come in. To date, more than 240 tips have been provided through the tips to TBI at tbi.10.gov. Wow. So there was 240 tips by March 22nd, guys. That's a lot of tips. And it wasn't even a month yet. That's quite a bit. And they're still getting tips. With the billboards, guys, they are still getting tips. The United Cajun Navy, a volunteer search and rescue effort organization, joined the search efforts for Sebastian. And by the following Friday, they withdrew. Threats made to the volunteers. Well, I wonder where those came from. Bureaucratic presser, investigation ongoing with local and federal resources, encouraging the committee to stay vigilant no matter how small you may think it is, understand anxiety and concern caused in community. We are doing everything we can despite the pass of time. Passage should be not passive. TBS speaking, he has not been forgotten, or TBI, sorry. No one has given up looking for him. Talks about vast land search, air search ponds. Even though the search isn't viable, the search is not done. Good old fashioned police work. You know, guys, I've got to say here that I agree with what they did. They stopped the search. They had searched over 2,000 square miles, okay, on foot. They never found any heat sources, anything like that in their drone search, helicopter search, all that stuff. Nothing. Not to mention they had no evidence of Sebastian walking out of that home. So I agree with them not looking on the ground for Sebastian. I totally agree with them 100%. I understand why they stopped. Um, besides which, we don't know what kind of tips they were getting. So, whoa, everything went black on me here for a minute. So we don't know what kind of tips they were getting. Okay. Sorry, guys. So let me see if I can go to another tab. But anyway, we don't know what kind of tips they were getting at all. Computer up now. You guys hear me? 'Cause I agree with you 100%. 341 tips from the beginning because they had 241 from the end. Or is it just 341 tips from the billboards? Hi, Poppy Love. And yes, I agree, Robin. We need Sebastian home. Definitely. Can you guys hear me all right? Can you guys hear me? 341 tips before the billboards went up. Gotcha. Okay. Wanted to make sure. I had to get out of my last screen and go into this new one, so I wanted to make sure you guys could hear me all right. All right. So, um good. Okay. So, parents have been cooperative. They've done pretty much everything we have asked. Pretty much. So, you know, my question is this: is it not true then that I'm tending to think that Chris never said to law enforcement that they could not interrogate his wife, because they were talking about how they were doing everything, right? So I'm just wondering if that's just a false rumor. Um, so on April 2nd, they were saying they didn't have any leads to a criminal investigation, um, cautioning social media on what they share. Obviously, there's no evidence of foul play, but they aren't ruling it out. You know, they're going to say whatever they had to say. Um, I know that Seth is working with them, but well, I'm just not going to say it. I don't have the same faith, I guess, but I'm not gonna cut him down because Seth wants us to not go after law enforcement because they're working with them. So I will honor what Seth says in that regard. Okay, so TBI special agents are joining investigators with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and law enforcement agencies from surrounding counties, and they did another search in the Long Hollow Pike area. And again, that was being, they covered quite a bit of ground on that day. On April 17th, Seth hired private investigators, which that was a disaster. Thursday, April 25th, the TBI special agents continue to review the information gathered. The Amber Alert remained active, and it still is a year later, right? 14 months later. On Tuesday, May 7th, authorities confirmed that a teenager photographed in North Carolina was not Sebastian. We all know about that one. May 21st, Seth Rogers called for the FBI to take over the investigation. May 26th or August 26th, on a Monday, the FBI offered up a reward for $50,000. December 2024, Craddock said it's not a cold case, it is an active and ongoing investigation. And guys, I'm going to say this, that even though it's hard for us, we don't see a lot of things happening behind the scenes, this case still is not considered to be cold because tips keep coming in. And I have to say, despite what anybody thinks about At Night, Dog, Nick, Honk, it doesn't matter. They have brought public awareness to this case, and they've kept Sebastian's face and name out there, and that has kept this case from going cold. So people can say what they want, right? But it has kept this case from going cold. And I know that Seth has got to be thankful for that, right? Because what would be worse? Knowing your child's out there and you have no idea where You don't know if he's alive or if he's gone, and nobody's doing anything about it. That would be horrific, in my opinion, right? It's hard enough to deal with, but you have a little bit of hope that law enforcement officials are working on an active case. But when a case goes cold and they're not working on it actively anymore, that would be horrible for any parent to have to take. Puppy love they have. Oh, in Portland. I don't know. Well, Robin, EC is too young to retire. I don't know if they found a phone. The DA is the one that needs to retire. Yes, he is. Portland, I mean, I don't know. I've heard what's going on. I've heard that um there was talk of some of the family of Bowersox live in that area and blah blah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's like 2 lakes in Portland and there probably are other ponds. I don't know. Um That's a really good point, Noni. There are tens, if not hundreds of thousands of parents out there who would give anything to get half the attention that Sebastian has received. And I got to tell you guys, it's so true. And anytime um, that creators try to go off to something different, we don't get as many views. Not as many people come in unless we're talking about Sebastian. Why is that? All we're wanting to do is bring awareness to other cases. And I have to tell you, it, you know, it's not just that we don't want to talk about it. It's that and if we're going to continue to be a creator on our platforms, we have to get the views to continue on, or, our algorithm falls to the bottom and we don't have anything. So it's like a never ending cycle, right? It's really sad. It's really sad. She doesn't agree with what, Canine? She thinks the case is gone cold. I think she said that the last time, and I knew she was coming on today, but I didn't go over there to listen because I was watching the Lori Vallow case. Thank you, Robin. I like it too. I like relaxing backgrounds, inviting, like you'd want to come in and sit with me in that garden, right? Right. But she's also a creator in a sense as well now that she's got her own channel, but right, she is former FBI. Yeah. Yep, she said it's a criminal case. In fact, she said that the FBI does not put out a reward unless unless criminal intent is part of it, right? From what I understand, none of them went down. And, you know, which ones were triggering? I could only assume. Um, was it You lied, I cried. Was it, what did I do? You made me vanish. Silence is murder. I mean, it could be any one of those. You fell asleep during Lori Vallow again. Even watching Recovery Addict, I didn't. I know, right? Yeah. Wouldn't it be awesome if only it was real? Hello, Cindy. And has a food court. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. I didn't know that. I always thought Costco was just a grocery store. And I lived there in that area for 3 years. You'd think that I would have gone to a Costco, right? Crazy, crazy. Uh, um, so Tuesday, February 25th, the 26th marks 1 year. Um, she just kind of went over everything from the 25th a year ago. So the ground search, Sebastian's neighborhood and surrounding neighborhoods, local schools in various locations across Sumner County. Pools, bodies of water, and caves due to Sebastian's known attraction to water. Okay. I don't believe, guys, tell me if I'm wrong. I don't believe that Katie and Chris ever said that Sebastian was attracted to water. It's a known fact that autistic children are attracted to water. But anything that they talked about was, Chris said Sebastian did not like, he wouldn't swim in creeks or ponds or lakes. He wanted a pool. And Katie said he loved swimming in his pool, in the pool. He was like a fish in water. So to say, due to Sebastian's known attraction to water, in my opinion, is wrong. Not true. He liked to swim. That's right. That's right. I do fairy gardens in the summer with my grandkids. Ah, that's the kind where you buy the kits that have fairy houses, chairs, ponds, like a dollhouse outside. And I do. That would be so much fun, Noni. That's awesome. I'm in Washington State and no Costco. Never heard of BJ's. Yeah, I never heard of BJ's either. I've heard of Costco, but didn't know that they had food courts. But I've never heard of BJ's. And I lived in that area. I lived in Portland for 3 years, guys. So, well, 2 years in Portland and a year in Nashville. Yeah. But you know why? Is that what Chris and Katie portrayed in the beginning? Because I mean, guys, remember they made him seem like he was a little boy, right? All the things that they told us. Even Seth said at one point, they're talking about things that my son did when he was 4 years old. Remember? And it's only been the more recent interviews that they have said, well, things were a little bit, you know, how did they put it? Not accurate or I forget, but misinformation out there from the beginning. No, Sebastian was very smart. Sebastian was, you know, high functioning autistic, um, you know, all this other stuff, right? That's awesome. I think that's cool. That's an awesome thing to do with your grandbabies. Um, so let me go back to that then. And they said bloodhounds and handlers were deployed to revisit and thoroughly examine key areas. Dive teams searched body waters around and beyond the immediate vicinity. Helicopters, drones, and fixed-wing aircraft were used for thermal imaging during day and night operations. That I knew. Sebastian's home, yard, vehicles, and neighbors' properties were searched multiple times. The neighborhood was canvassed extensively with law enforcement seeking assistance from residents. Numerous neighbors and businesses provided surveillance footage. Video evidence was analyzed and enhanced by TBI, FBI, and Secret Service experts. To date, no significant information has been identified from the videos. Oh my God. That's a lie. That is a total lie. And so is that. Right there. That should be removed because it's not true. The flashlight video is accurate. That's irritating to me. That's right. He was recently diagnosed with autism. And why? Guys, you can get a doctor too. There are doctors out there who will take money under the table to do diagnoses. Why? Yes, they have. In fact, Mr. Yummy, Detection Detective, has said over and over again that every time he puts out a video and then they have an interview, they've gotten better, but they still cannot hide the behaviors, right? It's hard for a person to lie and get away with it. There are tells that happen. Sebastian's teacher said you wouldn't know that Sebastian had any medical issues. Yes. Just before he disappeared. It wasn't that long. Yep. Right. He had ADHD. Yes. And I know about ADHD. My youngest daughter had it. Oh, they are a handful. Oh, goodness sakes. Um, Search warrants were executed to collect evidence, cell phone data, gaming system activity, and other digital evidence were analyzed. The FBI helped identify and account for vehicles present near the area. Oh, they're the ones, the FBI, that did the geofencing on Chris's, let's say it together, everybody, truck. Triggering word for Mr. CP, right? Um, okay, so this is a bunch of baloney. Sebastian's autism presents unique challenges as he may be drawn to specific sensory elements such as water. So that's a lie. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again, the 2,000 miles. Bloodhounds and handlers. She already said this. And she keeps bringing up this. Why? I say a she, but it could be a he. I don't know who has this website. Um, so anyway, then there's a bunch of pictures of Sebastian, right? Then it shows videos in here. So if you guys want to check these things out for yourself, you're more than welcome. I mean, it has interviews of CP and KP. It has Seth's interviews, which we know he had more than they did. Oh. It's kind of curious. Talks about each different one there. His name spelled wrong here. That is the poster from FBI. Look at how young he is here. Look at how young he is. Crazy, guys. But anyway, I wanted to share that. It's got other case files. You click on that. It shows Madeline. It shows other people. Lori Vallow. Gilgo Beach murders. Stephanie Dameron. I have talked about her. The Idaho 4. Brian Thompson. Elijah View. Suzanne Simpson. Layla Santinello. Holland Snap. So, I mean, and if you click on each one of these, so let's click on Suzanne. I have done things for her. It's taking a little bit, guys, so just bear with me. Her body has never been found. Her husband is in prison, jail. They haven't had his trial yet. Wow. Taking a while to come up. According to what At Night said, it's a lie. They haven't been able to remove any billboards. That's the last I've heard about it. And if you go to, yeah, someone's spreading false information, Poppy. They haven't removed anything. They interviewed all three of them. Chris said that Seth did a good job, but he didn't see it. They weren't there at the same time. And I don't know when that's supposed to be. I don't know. Is it tonight? I remember seeing a thing that said 3 days, and I don't remember. Um, So I'm just looking to see if there was any new updates from at night here. Okay. This was an hour ago. Have you seen us? And then this one with Sebastian. Look at how big his face is on that billboard. That's awesome. Give that a like there. It is supposed to be about Sebastian. He is missing. He needs to be found and brought home. Say his name, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That's from Seth. 5 hours ago. What they've been doing is putting Summer Wells' picture behind Sebastian as well. So that's kind of neat. So they have changed a little bit. They're also encouraging us guys to that other children have come home. So they've been showing like this girl, JC Dugard, was kidnapped in 1991 and she's happy to be home. So they've been putting out things like that. And here's another one of Sebastian and Summer. I love that picture of Summer. I think she's so cute. I agree with you, Prayer Warrior. I agree with you 100%. And that is false information. I did see, Hong said they haven't taken any down. They can't. They're paid for. They can't take those down. Yeah. So as far as I know, Poppy Love, I haven't seen anything about it yet. Could I have missed it? That's possible, right? If she had her makeup professionally done, why did she say she did, Noni? Uh-huh. Yeah, they're all on there. Seth showed Sebastian's room at his house, but CP and KP did theirs in an undisclosed location, and they did not show Sebastian's room. They said they decided against it. I think that's because they've changed Sebastian's room because they know he's not coming back. That's my opinion. Oh, gotcha, Noni. Um, I don't know. She needs to put some kind of white powder on because she looks all red. it'd be it'd be better to look a little bit washed out than to look all red and shiny like she has in the last few interviews. And I hope, because then we could get Deception Detective to analyze that interview as well. Although, honestly, by this time, we kind of know, right? We kind of know their lies. We have watched so much statement analysis, guys, that we got it down pat. We know exactly what's going on. We can tell exactly what's a lie and what's not, right? I have to say, as far as that website, I'm a little bit disappointed because I don't think it's anything that's gonna harm the case that's not correct in there. But I don't I'm there's some stuff in there, in my opinion, that's not very good, that's not very honest, and I don't like it. But it is what it is. Um, so guys, I did not follow the Summer Wells case. So those of you who have followed it, um, tell me what your opinion is. Did she run away? Was she abducted out of her home like Sebastian? Was she the one that allegedly left from the basement door or something? Gotcha, Noni. I heard they are including Summer along with Sebastian for receiving information reward. Um, I heard that too. Um, the reason that I think so is because they said, I don't know if it was Nick or Hong. Ginger may be able to help me with that, but they said it was either Nick or Hong that said that when they were going through tips, I think it was Hong, now that I'm thinking about it, that when they were going through tips that they came across where it's possible Summer might be alive. So they may be thinking these two cases are linked in some way, shape, or form as far as where these kids are. I don't know. You think mom did something and dad covered? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've often wanted to go back and review it, but I don't have time. Summer was supposed to have been playing in the basement, but got gone. Got gone. I'm not gonna say what I was thinking. That's terrible. Oh, they removed the other children from the home. But she had older brothers, right? That I mean, this is about all I know about it. That mother went to grandma's trailer, still on the property or some dumb thing, and that Summer was playing in the basement and the boys were upstairs or something. Their investigators came across information about Summer when they came across info that Summer was still alive. Yeah, yeah, and it was Hong. So that's interesting. How many other kids were there, K9? Do you know? I thought I remembered reading two, but two boys, but I don't know if that's true or not. So they took the kids away. Well, that tells you something right there, guys. If they, you know, because let's face it, CPS overall hasn't been doing their job, right? We know that in many cases, right? And it's rare for them to take kids out of a home now. So if they took kids away from a home, that tells you something right there. The boys have been adopted. Wow. 2, gotcha. Who's Chris Oh, Chris McDonough? CPS had been there the day before she went missing. Oh my gosh. So what does that tells you something right there, guys. That tells you something right there. It's too bad that CPS didn't take those kids the day before she went missing, huh? It's kind of like, oh, 5 CPS reports, we didn't do anything. Chris McDonough's one, K9? I'll have to try. I I feel like all I do is watch true crime lately. It gets to be very deep and dark. Sometimes I have to just go and watch a different movie or something because it drives me crazy. Gotcha. There seem to be similar online creators disrupting both Summers and Sebastian's case, leading Ellie on false leads and wasting resources. That's sad. That's so sad because, guys, I gotta tell you, my whole goal for my channel is to bring awareness, right? And to get facts out to people, not to speculate, um, or cause harm to the investigation ever. And if I did that, I gotta tell you, I would, oh, yeah, I would be broken. I would just be broken to think that I could be responsible for harming an investigation oh, that would devastate me. It would totally devastate me. For the first time, you'd probably be seeing Granny live crying, just sobbing. Um, and you guys know that I'm not a drama queen. Lauren was playing on the TV when they went in. Oh my god. Well, email me the link, woman. Hadn't even heard of a true crime community until Sebastian. I I don't know if I want to say I heard of a true crime community. I guess I had, because, well, no, you're right. You're right. I don't think I had either. Um, I have always been drawn to mystery and cases. I mean, missing children gets to my heart, and missing, and the very first one that grabbed hold of my heart was Gabby Petito. And I was working full time then, and I would come home every day, and I'd be glued until I went to bed at night while they were looking for her. And I'd get up in the morning, I'd have my coffee and watch until I had to get ready to go to work. Um, and it went like that for days. I just was glued to the TV, right? But mostly I was watching um, WFLA, JB Buno, and Peter Tragos, the lawyer. Those were the 2 that I was watching mostly at that point in time. Then when I decided to become a creator, getting more into it when I was getting ready to retire, um, I guess, as I started looking for things to talk about, and that's, I guess, when I became um, familiar with some of the other creators, right, when they were talking about things. So, thank you, K9. I appreciate that. At least Candace let a film crew in her home, whereas we know who didn't allow AMW in their nice big home. um, right. And the thing is, I think they didn't let them in because they have changed Sebastian's room. That's my opinion. And they didn't want to admit that they changed it because it would look bad. Kylie Rodney, gotcha. And that's another case I didn't follow. Yeah. And it's funny because it's mostly women who get involved in true crime. John Benet Ramsey. Yeah. I remember following that case, but not on the internet, just on the news, right? Back then. Yeah, it was really hard to follow cases back then because you were literally um you literally only had the TV, you know. So, yeah, that was really hard. Yeah. Um as far as reporting them, yes, but it takes a while sometimes for things to get taken down, and they don't just take people down. Um and I think that's basically because of freedom of speech. Um and yeah, I'm there with you, Poppy. There's a few that I'd like to see taken down too. I'm not going to mention names. But it is what it is. You know, the the best way that I can think of to look at it is that people will get what's coming to them eventually, right? If you believe in karma, I don't, but um I do follow the Bible, which says, "Be sure your sin will find you out," meaning that everything comes out in the open sooner or later. It's maybe not in our timeline, right? It's not when we want it, but it always happens. Always. So whether you believe in karma, whether you believe in the Bible, it doesn't matter. Truth always comes out. It always comes out. That's right. We didn't have internet yet, prayer warrior. That yeah. I see those things on Facebook now where they show these big beautiful homes. Could you live here for a month without internet for $1,000,000? And I'm like, "No." Because I don't watch TV. I sit here every day with my laptop. I can watch Netflix on my laptop. If I'm gonna watch a movie or whatever, or if I wanna watch a documentary, I have Primetime Video, I've got Netflix, I'm good, right? I don't even need to watch my TV. So, could I live in one of those houses for a month without no internet? No. Not to mention, I wouldn't be able to talk to you guys every day, so that would be horrific. I couldn't do it. Even if I told you I was taking a month off, I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Ah, you started back with OJ, Casey Anthony. Yeah, I watched the Casey Anthony. Didn't watch Jodi Arias' case. OJ, huh, yeah, I followed that on TV for sure. That guy belonged in jail, prison, death penalty. That's true. That's true, Ginger. It is heartbreaking. Missing people with grieving families, and it's not entertainment. You're right. The truth will come out, but sometimes it's just hard to wait. And we live in a instant society. We want, you know, ever since the days of fast food started, we want everything fast, right? Everything, we microwave fast. We everything is fast and we want it now. And, you know, it's just hard to remember that things take time, right? We want we want a rest yesterday. Yeah, heck, we want them 12 months ago, right? Um, but it just doesn't work like that. I don't think I can handle being involved in other cases like I have, Sebastian. You aren't the first person that has said that, Poppy. It's too depressing to me. I see something and will pray for other children. Sebastian is heavy on my heart. Yeah. Well, his little smile, right? Even though on that billboard right on the screen right now, his smile isn't, but Summer Wells' smile is so cute there. She was so cute. She looks really mischievous in that picture, though. I don't know if she was or not, but she looks very mischievous. And according to what Ginger said, I mean, know if her family really misses her or not. I'm watching the Cold Case TV show on Prime right now, Addicted. Yes, we want instant gratification. You went to the same high school as OJ. He was 2 years ahead of you. He came and played an exhibition game with staff. He's where he belongs. Yeah, he's ah, that man. And so many people idolized him. That it was so sick. It was so sick. Oh, and the famous Bronco chase. Oh my gosh. Right? This case has been the hardest case emotionally. It's all the drama and lies that gets me. I definitely take breaks. Yeah. Um, I think it's been hard on all of us. Um, I think I don't know what has got us all invested. I don't know other than it's Seth and his tears and his constant pleading for his son to be brought home. Um, but I felt that very much so with the Gabby Petito case. I mean, when they found her remains, I bawled like a baby, right along with JB Buno. I was watching JB Buno as they broke the news, and JB Buno cried, and I was crying right along with them. I felt horrible. Um, so, what is it do you guys think about strangers that pulls us in like that? I mean, I never met Gabby. We've never met Sebastian. I've never met Seth or the other side. I don't know any of them. But what is it? They shaved off Summer's hair before she disappeared. Why? Because she had lice, I imagine? That wouldn't surprise me. K9, do you have OJ's autograph in your yearbook? Heck, I would, yeah, I would hang out. They claimed that she asked for it. That poor little girl. How old was she when she disappeared? because she was a baby of the family, right? And I heard there was a lot of garbage that went on in her case as well. I hear ya. Aw. She was starting kindergarten. Oh, man. Well, I'm glad their kids are taken away from them. That's awful. So, your 5-year-old says, "I want my hair shaved off," and you're gonna do it? Who's the parent? Who's the parent? I mean, seriously. If either one of my little girls had come to me and said, "Mom, I want my hair shaved off," I would have said, "No, no, no, go play." No. What dang princess has short hair? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, no. She wanted to be a princess, huh? I've never heard of a princess with short hair. Yeah. Who's the parent? I would have said, "Nope, not getting your hair shaved. And if you take the scissors and try to cut it, you're gonna be grounded." Put in timeout, whatever. My 3-year-old wanted his head shaved like daddy's. I gave in, but kept the tail of curls in the back. Gotcha. That's a little boy, though. It's not a little girl. Prayer warrior, if your little girl wanted her head shaved, would you have done it? Somehow, in my mind, a little boy wanting his head shaved like his daddy is different than a little girl allegedly wanting her head shaved. Do you see what I'm saying? Because yes, it's gonna grow back, but see? Yeah, it's different. It's different. Then there's a video of her dancing in front of a red barrel with a sign on it that said "For sale." See? And is that why Hong has found some things? Was she put up for sale? Guys, I'm just saying. My daughter's rainbow mohawk was all I could take. Oh. That's when those statements of, "Oh, my kids are gonna be the death of me yet," come into play. Like, oh, thank goodness my daughters never asked for stuff like that. Oh, goodness. Oh, alright. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and share my grannyism with you today. Be happy, not because everything is good, but because you can see the good in everything. And that's the thing that we need to remember, guys, no matter what we're seeing. Kids are so fun. They are, though. They really are. You know, it's like I've said, my youngest daughter was a handful with ADHD. Oh my gosh. She was a little terror. But yet on the flip side, she was fun and bubbly and always cracking jokes, and I wouldn't trade her for anything in the world, right? I wouldn't. I wouldn't. So, yeah, we need to remember that we need to see the good in everything, right? Find the good. You know, Summer's mischievous smile, Sebastian's cute, quirky smile. You know, we can see the good, right? So I want to thank you guys for being here with me today. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for coming into my garden. So we'll be back tomorrow night. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great evening. We'll see you then. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.